Hope everyone is doing well. A little surprise, half an hour to market close power hour stream Wednesday. Today, not the Friday stream, because I'll be actually going on Tesla Herbert's channel to do to partake in a bigger Tesla stream soon enough with 20 people. It's going to be 10 for the first hour. What I'm thinking is you won't have to leave this stream though. I'll try to simulcast my screen with me in the panel for the first hour at least on this channel, so you don't have to go anywhere. And I see everyone in the chat here. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from, city, state, country, and if my audio is coming in a-okay. Harris, how's it going? Great American. EC, the Stonks Market, Discreet. Discreet says, let's check the Tesla Canada website for inventory. Sure, we can do that in a little bit. I know inventory across the board is down massively. So there is that. Awesome. How's it going, man? Boise, Idaho. Why do people always have to message me right when I go live? Andy, how's it going from Vancouver? Hey, local, how's it going, man? Julio, hi from UK, Oceanside City, sunny California. How's it going? Mimi, how's it going from Sweden, Missouri, South Africa? Howdy. How's it going to Digital, our channel member? Atlanta here, DRK, how's it going? Best from Detroit, Mexico, Ottawa. Cheers from a tiny village of a small island in Greece. Harris, that is lovely. That sounds lovely right now. We just finished a whole snowstorm type of week here, so that sounds great. That Mediterranean lifestyle. Netherlands, Denmark. Let's go Tesla. You know what's funny? I'll kind of admit something. I was like making the title and the thumbnail, and I was like, I do not want to say anything about Tesla stock going up, because really, come on. Even if it was up 3%, it was up 3% when I was making. I was like, this doesn't feel right with the amount of drawdowns that we're seeing. Like, I don't think anyone's celebrating this 3% update. Let's say for now. Nola, Amsterdam, Bahadur, how's it going, man? Delaware, David, Sanju. Thank you. Austin, Sweden, South Africa, Paco, Austin. A lot of Austins. Love it. Sweden, Perth, Sweden as well. Jessica says, tomorrow's 29th. How is this the last day to tax loss harvest? Because your trades have to settle, right? And I can pull up something, but I'm pretty sure people can concur in the comments with me. If I'm wrong, I'll happily adjust. But you need 2 business days to settle your trade. So because New Year's Eve is on the Saturday, 2 business days would put us today as the last day to tax loss harvest. Liverpool, Scotland, Iowa, Cleveland as well, Ireland. Yeah, exactly. Hermosa. So Maz says, what's up, Yash? What do you think about the number of shares traded in this narrow range today? Okay, so this is the thing, right? We were having this discussion yesterday on our Juju Gang Discord, which if you want to partake in our discussions, awesome group of people in there. Shout out to all you guys and girls. We were talking about volume, and I was like, look, volume is nuts. I pulled up the volume graph and I said, look at the volume subgraph that we're seeing here. And then we started having some discussions around, is it really that high if you consider volume to be a function of the stock price, right? If you look at it, let's say percentage of the stock or absolute dollar volume, then you can make the case like, look, if we went from 314 end of September, just nuts, 314 end of September to $110 right now. If volume triples, is that really that big of a deal? And that's kind of what I think the discussion is so far. Frank Pilleen actually had a really good article this weekend that I retweeted. Actually, I'll try to find it here and pull it up. I think it's worth us talking about it here. So he tweeted this out about the high volume. So it wasn't just me talking about the high volume. Here it is right over here. So it said, great thread by Frank, been calling it the high volume for days. This could explain it. The other theory I have, of course, is just tripling from a pure pricing play. Frank, and there's 17, but essentially what his theory here is that it's pretty obvious, he says, that the price action over the past week and a half has been driven by a very large non-Elon seller. Looking at the volume, just to guess, order of 50 million shares have already been sold. Elon sold 20 million, pushing the stock down 10% in 3 days. Now, he goes on to throw out a name, Capital World Investors, which have had a massive stake in Tesla since forever. I looked it up. It's about 90 million shares that they own. And he says, I don't think it's Bailey Gifford, 28 million shares. So he says the good news is that the majority of this price action has in all likelihood been caused by one single, or at a most few, entity that have changed their opinion on Tesla. More likely just one firm changed its opinion. That's behind the drop from 160 to 120. And now I remember last week on our power hour as well, not last Friday, sorry, the Friday before then, when I kept looking at the 200 week moving average, and I was like, us giving up the 200 week moving average as we close right now is not looking good. And back then it was 160. So I do think there's a degree of breaking that sort of demand up there. That's why I think, people that say technicals don't matter, but then complain about stock prices in the short term, I think are kind of missing the bigger picture here. In the short term, stocks move from demand to demand, from supply to supply. In the long run, you could talk about valuations, of course. And so breaking that 200 week was a really strong point. Remember, we hadn't broke the 200 week moving average going back pre-COVID shutdown in 2020. In fact, you have to go to the middle of 2019 to actually look at that, I think. This is pre-Joe Rogan podcast even, right? So you really have to go far back. So that was a strong point of resistance. Anyways, all to say, long story short, as we sit here and we talk about volume today has already been 202 million. 202 million. So I think closing green today would bode well. I'm not going to say we're bottomed here, but the line in the sand that I'm setting this week to end the week, remember, we have a couple of days left till then, actually is 116 or whatever this is, $117, which, hold your breath, is the 300 week moving average. I know, not really something that you often hear people talk about, but that's kind of where we are at this point, I think. Faisal says, I think Canada and the US have different laws regarding tax law harvest. December 28th in Canada. Well, what is it down? So Great American's saying basically 3 days to, it's T+2, right? I think that's the settling time. I'm gonna have to pull it up. You're also, I see this opportunity to move Tesla into my TFSA from my regular brokerage account. That's fair. Unfortunately, they were already in my TSFA. So, Muki says, Yash, there's some additional commentary from Elon today, sure to cause more negative coverage. Sure, we'll pull that up. It seems like every day there's going to be something, so it's okay. Kifley says, Tesla returned to demand zone. Unpopular, but could be possible. I've set a buy at $80. Elon was expecting a lot in the last spaces he's on. Maybe he knows something. I mean, that's been kind of the going word, right? So, by the way, there was... Yes. Okay. So Discreet says selling today, trade will settle December 30th, but selling tomorrow, trade will settle first trading day in Jan. So that's what I'm saying. Anyways, going back to some news for the day. What we saw was Tesla China actually clapped back for once. Not for once, but on the news reports yesterday. Sawyer Merritt tweeting, Tesla China has posted a correction to its recent reports, alleging that the Gigafactory Shanghai production would be shut from January 20th to 31st. Tesla China says workers would be getting an extra 2 days off, not 5, as reported by Reuters. Now, look, when I saw the news yesterday, just the headlines, I did not like. I did start to think, okay, this is concerning. Because Tesla usually doesn't pause fully for Chinese New Year. I know Lunar New Year, Chinese New Year is a big holiday in China. Pretty much all workers across all factories. It's like the one time of year that they actually get to go back home and stay away from the factories. But from recent years' memories, I don't think Tesla China has actually shut down for Chinese New Year fully. They've been semi-operating. So for them to fully shut down and then to add another extra couple of days, Reuter said 5, Tesla China says just 2. I was like, why is this a production issue? Now there's theories around, okay, this is the Highlander model, this is the new model, but in absence of that information, it's hard to say. Sawyer goes on to say, quote, the rumored info about Tesla holidays are not accurate. This is Tesla China. In fact, most of the employees at the Gigafactory will be on holiday from January 20th to 28th, which will be one day longer than the statutory holiday before and after, allowing everyone to flexibly arrange their homecoming. So there's that. Some people are saying, look, damage has been done. This should have happened way before. I don't expect a whole corporate entity like Tesla China to respond within like an hour of a Reuters report every single time. I think the fact that they even responded was good. Tesla Hype says, the news makes a big deal out of scheduling change. LOL. This type of thing is very common in the manufacturing world. Look, I said this to a friend the other week. I said, who's reporting on how many lines Ford has at a factory, or if there's a shutdown in one of the lines, or if there's an outbreak? You know, if there's anything happening at any other insert company, like even honestly, even insert company, like any company, forget about Legacy Auto. It's just hard to find any other company that gets so, that gets so, I don't want to say FUD even, because sometimes, like we've seen here, partly accurate. It is down for more than 2 days, or 2 days longer. But just so much attention, right? Discreet saying, how's the inventory looking like in Canada? I guess I could pull it up. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Let's see. So in Canada, there's about, let's see here. Let's do like, that's not where I put the whole post code in. Hold on. Okay, let's try that. So if we do Model S's, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Wow, there's 18 Model S news, or new Model S's. And there is 3 used Model S's. Model 3s, there is 1 used available. That's an expensive ass Model 3. Hold on. Oh, it's a long range. Okay. And there are how many new Model 3s? There's 3 ready for delivery. 2023 model. Crazy. Model X, there are 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26, 28, 30, 32, 34, 36, 38, 39. Wow, there's a lot of Model X news. A lot. And it makes sense. I guess higher trim models during these recessionary periods it's going to be a harder time selling those. I wonder if that brings ASPs down. That's a lot of Model X's, right? Model Ys, this is an interesting one. Let's see. Only 3 used Model Ys available, but how many new? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, maybe 10, 12, 11, 12 available. So that's actually a really good amount of inventory available here in Vancouver, at least. Way more than normal, I will say. This is a lot higher than normal. Usually you won't find anything. And that could partly be like, look, the Model 3 is expensive, right? In Canadian dollars from where it was even a year and a half, 2 years ago. So Model 3 by now is going to, oh, it literally takes me to the inventory page. Interesting. Huh. Okay, well, there's that. Great American says the Model S and X's are over 800 and 600 US inventory. They do not get the 75. That's true. Good point. But the thing is, like, we don't get the $7,500 here anyways, right? So hey, well, the interesting part here is I guess the sad reality is a 10% move in Tesla is pretty much a $10 move now. A $10 move in Tesla. Oh, okay, it's hidden. Okay, thank you, Real. A $10 move in Tesla is now a 10% move. Okay, so let's watch. I've got a couple of videos pulled up here. This is Garrett Nelson from CFRA Research. talking about Tesla today.
I assume at this point you stuck with your buy.
Let's watch. He has a buy rating on Tesla. And he says, quote, "It's really overdone to see that kind of sell off on that type of news," talking about Gigafactory Shanghai and the shutdown there. So let's take a listen.
I assume at this point you stuck with your buy rating this whole time down. I mean, it's down 69% this year. I would assume you think it's closer to the bottom at this point. What is the primary driver of this tremendous decline that we've seen in your view?
Sure. Thanks for having me. So obviously there's been a lot of attention surrounding Tesla's sell-off, but to be clear, this is a broader EV sell-off. If you look at Tesla's competitors, Rivian and Lucid, those stocks are down far more.
He has a $225 price target, in case you can't see it there. This is Garrett Nelson.
On a year-to-date basis than Tesla. So, we think sentiment has really become overly negative. And the recent sell-off has really been exacerbated by year-end tax loss selling, in our view. But if you look at what happened yesterday, Tesla lost over 11% of their market value in a single day yesterday. And really, what news was there out there, except that they're planning to take little additional downtime at their Shanghai factory over the Chinese New Year in late January. And so we think that's really overdone to see that kind of sell-off on that type of.
You know what's interesting? We kind of see the inverse happening now. I remember like about a year ago, we would see the same thing said, except on the upside. What news was there? It was the Hertz deal. Why is Tesla going up? And now it's like the opposite. It's like, why is Tesla falling so much? There was no news. So it's kind of interesting to see kind of both sides of this happening.
The news, and by the way, their China factory is only one of 4 factories that they're currently operating. So we think this is a really good buying opportunity following the recent sell-off.
And, what was remarkable about yesterday's sell-off was the volume behind that 11% decline. So it wasn't just, strange light volume days ahead of the new year, Garrett. It was, 3 times the average daily volume over the past 30 days, which means that there's a lot of conviction in that decline. If you think that it's China mostly, that bit of news behind the 11%, once that gets better, I would think that that's something to look through. But then you still have the outstanding issue of Elon Musk's distraction, the possible damage to the Tesla brand, the high interest rates, which Elon Musk himself tweeted about. I mean, the Y and the 3 are some of the most financed SUVs, EUVs in the market, I should say, at this point. These are things that don't necessarily go away, even if the China lockdown is solved. And we just heard from Dr. Scott Gottlieb earlier. He thinks that, this could be waves and waves of COVID here, which could still be disruptive to the supply chain.
Yeah, we think the pendulum has really swung too far in the direction of fear. And Tesla is not being given enough credit for some potential positives that are ahead. One is we think they could announce a buyback. They've alluded to that in the last few months.
Don't hold your breath. If that happens, it's going to be middle of next year at the earliest is where I'm pegging my expectations.
Would likely be in the magnitude of $5 to $10 billion. The company's balance sheet was recently upgraded to investment grade by S&P. So they're really in a lot different situation than other automakers, given their balance sheet strength and free cash flow. And the other thing is that their EVs, the lower price versions of the Model 3 and the Model Y will become eligible for a $7,500 federal EV tax credit on January 1st. So next week, those lower price versions.
Well, technically, you can already get it right now, right?
Versions will be available for the EV tax credit because of the Inflation Reduction Act. And so, we don't think the market is focusing enough on those things. And, this sell-off has really presented a compelling entry point.
Right.
So I generally agree with what he's saying. I guess the IRA makes a difference on the margins because Tesla doesn't have to discount it. It's discounted by the government. So it helps Tesla's margins there, rather than the last week and a half. Yes, maybe let's play our guessing game. Let's play our Tesla closing price guessing game. Throw your guess in the chat for some virtual juju coming your way. Remember, Price is Right rules. You have to be at or under to win the virtual juju. If you're over by even a penny, you can't win. I'll throw my guess in too as well. 111.87 sitting on Tesla right now. Where do I see us finishing? I'm gonna say 111 on the 111.11. That's my guess. I'll throw it in the chat there. There was a question from Matt here. I saw it. Was it Yash suggesting that the large sell is exiting their Tesla? Well, for the last couple of weeks, I've been saying, "What's up with the volume?" I've been kind of raising that a little bit. Now, in case you missed it, I went over Frank Pilline's. I briefly went over his Twitter thread. You can find it on Twitter. Just search up Frank Pilline. He thinks it's a large institutional investor as well, but he's gone further and done more research to guess who he thinks it might be, and he's kind of narrowed it down to Capital World investors with their 90 million shares as of last 13F filing. So I guess we'll find out. But but then the counter argument to me even saying that is like, look, Tesla's at $111. Do you really expect to have the same number of shares traded when it was $300 versus today? Right? So let's see here. Have the margin call stop? I've seen a lot of data points around the margin calls and whatnot, but I don't know how accurate those are, right? Like people saying, oh, the margin calls are happening. That's partly what's happening here. Probably, of course, but I don't know if there's an accurate way for us to ever say that this is the exact number that's happened. So I guess we'll see. Remember, I will be going on Tesla Herbert's channel with 10 other power streamers coming up. Actually, I'll just read out to you guys who will be there. Myself, Matt Smith, Brian from My Tesla Weekend, K10, Tesla Economist, Lee, Jason DeBolt, and Chuck Cook. Of course, Farzad and Tesla Herbert are hosting it. So this is my plan, okay? Regardless what happens, even if this doesn't work, I have this stream auto directing you guys to that stream after I end this stream. So don't worry about having to go anywhere. It should auto direct you. At least that's what YouTube tells me that it will do. But what I'm thinking is I'll join their stream and I'll stream their stream from my stream. Make sense? So hopefully that makes sense. But that's my plan. I guess we'll see. They start at 1. I told them I'll be starting right at 1. Someone says we should be playing guessing price for tomorrow. Yeah, honestly. So, Nick says Elon is tweeting some troubling content. Do I even want to pull this up? Let me see here. Elon. Let's see what the man, the myth, and the legend himself is tweeting now. Let's see. It's bioweapon, Fauci, more stuff there. Accurate. That's a Doge tweet. I don't really care about Doge. Oh God. Well, look, I don't know, folks. I really don't know what to say. So it's a non-comment for me. Gary Black also tweeted this, so I do want to cover this. Gary says fitting the street now is looking for 420,000 deliveries for fourth quarter. Anything less, and the media will say Tesla EV brand equity has been impaired by all the Twitter noise. So I'm actually quite happy that it's come down to 420. I know it was, and no, not because of the joke, but because last week it was literally 430, right? 430. It seems like 430 would have been high. So this coming down earlier, I think is good. 420. Okay, throw in the chat. Over under. Does Tesla do over under 420 deliveries for fourth quarter? Over under. I want to get a general sentiment gauge here. What's Troy? I think Troy Tesla is just slightly or is around that, but I think probably under, right? I usually just err to the side of under for Troy now. Gary says with fourth quarter deliveries of 420, Tesla will still break all-time records of total deliveries in China deliveries this quarter. That is true, but look, Tesla has to break records. I mean, that's part of the growth story of why we're investing in or I'm investing in Tesla is because there's a massive growth story. When you have growth, you're going to be breaking records, hopefully every quarter on quarter on quarter, right? Like that's the entire point. But he says Tesla fourth quarter gap in adjusted EPS will also likely be all-time records. And then he tags Elon and Martin Vieca. Actually, Gary had another tweet here about what he expects Tesla stock to do. And hold on, what do you guys think? So I would say the majority of you guys say over. There are a handful of unders sprinkled in. Deliveries are tough. Yes, with the new wave, I guess we'll have to find out how they do. It's called a rally now. I'm trying not to, Robbie. Under, okay. So I would say it's probably 85-15 over. 85-15 over. Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so Gary also tweeted, I kept trying to find it now, but he tweeted if Tesla does, if Tesla beats analysts, 420 Tesla probably skyrockets. I'm gonna have to find it. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but anyways, let's see here. What's also interesting is Matthias Fons, friend of the show, also used Google Trends to determine the US search volume in Tesla Model 3 Model Ys. So he has this graph here where he shows Tesla volume on Google Trends. Let me just pull this up and make myself a little bit smaller. And you can see Elon buys Twitter here, pretty much stays flat. Nothing really happens. And then Tesla adds a $7,500 discount. And you can see search volume in the last 90 days in the last week and a half has actually gone up quite a bit. And the yellow line is the Ford, the Mustang Mach-E, pretty much flat-ish. So I guess that's kind of nice. Let's see here. Yeah, Shai says we probably have some Optimus buys here. 100%. So maybe discount the 85% by like half. So let's say the margin is no longer that high. The margin's like 60-40. I don't know. Sam says big rally. I'll be good with 112. A big rally for Tesla is now $3 or $4. It's crazy to say. 112.60 sitting on Tesla, up 3.2% today. I should probably add as well, the NASDAQ is down 1.3%. So folks, Tesla could be down 3% with the macro. Today it's up, but I don't think any of us really care about the relative strength here at these levels just yet. We really just need to find a base, a consolidation period. Look at the ugly daily the daily candles on Tesla. I guess I don't even have to show you. I'm pretty sure everyone watching probably has felt this, but finding a bottom, as much as my technical analysis side wants to come out and say, look, well, 116 has to hold for the week, 100 has to hold as a whole number, blah, blah, blah. I just look at macro and I'm not sold on macro. And that's part of the problem of really talking bottoming for now, is because the Fed is on a path of mass destruction with everything. So record volume today. Well, tax loss harvesting, my friends. Tax loss harvesting is happening. Yes. Hold on. Where's this comment? Big rally for Tesla tomorrow. Market closed. Market is not closed tomorrow, but I know that you're just making a joke there. But no, markets are not closed tomorrow. At least last time I checked, but at this point, maybe it's better that way. Yes, ARK's been buying, but remember, ARK is always at, ARK just has a percentage that they peg, and then inflows and outflows really base a lot of their decision making, or at least it should. $112.40 sitting on Tesla here. Okay, so we got 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes left here to the Power Hour stream. You know what I'm going to do? Maybe it's better this way. What I'll do is I will end this stream in a couple minutes after market close. which will automatically send everyone here without doing anything to Farzad's live stream going on, in which I will be joining. I just don't want to mess up their stream and their audio and all that sort of stuff. So I think it's probably just more respectful if I just send you guys their way. But I will after the market close here in 1 minute. 112.60 sitting on Tesla. Let's see where we close off today. Up 3.2% if you want to call that an update. VIX up a little bit. The NASDAQ is down 1.3% today, and the S&P 500 is down 1.2% as well. Last day of tax loss harvesting. To my knowledge, Lucid is also up, by the way. Lucid, Rivian, Neo have really had a kind of direct correlation here with Tesla in the last little bit. 112. Let's see here. Pull that up. And we'll find out here who our winner is shortly. Sam's pretty close. I'm getting the winners ready already. I think Sam's really close. 112.69 was Sam's guess. We'll find out who the winner here is very shortly. There it is, 112.71. Sam, I'm pretty sure you've won this thing, my friend. Stan was pretty close. Gamer was pretty close as well. New Life, Tesla owner. You guys, Harris, you guys were pretty close as well. Oh, Kevin King also guessed 69. So Kevin and Sam are our two winners for the day. Kevin King and Sam Lee. Shout out to you guys for winning. Okay, awesome. Much love, everyone. Thanks for joining for another Power Hour stream. We'll do another one, of course, Friday. I will be joining Tesla Herbert. I'll be joining Tesla Herbert and Farzad now on the stream. I'll end this stream now, and then it'll bring you guys all to Farzad's stream in a second here. Please bring us back here for a post-game take if possible. I will try my best. Thank you all. I'll send everyone over to Farzad's stream right now as I end it.